branch on GitHub.
The second one?
Yeah, feature 2.
No.
Okay, so that means you didn't send to GitHub. You didn't push. Did you push?
No, I pushed it to
Feature 1.
yeah.
Okay. So here we were done with adding the header elements to each .main section. Okay, that was a requirement.
Yeah.
Then, if you guys can read with me, I don't know if the rest have the technical documentation page open there. User story 4 says each section element with the class of main section. Okay, each section element. Okay, so we have section elements in our HTML, right? Right, guys?
Yes.
Okay. So we have the sections. You see there? Those are section elements there. Sections. So the user story says each section element with the class of main section, okay, should also have an ID that corresponds with the text of each header contained within it. Okay, you guys see that? Let me read it one more time. It says each section element with the class of main section. You remember we have a .main section in the CSS?
Yeah.
Okay, should also have an ID that corresponds with the text of each header contained within it. Okay, any spaces should be replaced with underscores. For example, the section that contains the header JavaScript and Java should have a corresponding ID is equal to, they give us an example there. Okay, they give us an example, ID is equal to open quotations JavaScript underscore and underscore Java, and then they close the quotations. Okay, so let's go ahead and add IDs inside the section elements. Okay. Yeah. So in the opening tag of the section elements, let's add an ID. Okay, guys, are we together? Claire, Anna, are we together? Blessing, are we together?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Aris and Arthur, please note here we are working with HTML elements. As you can see, most of them for now have opening and closing tags, and then also instead of the body for this particular challenge that we are doing, we were required to name our body the main. Okay.
Yes.
So the main, where you see the main, that is basically doing the same work as the body. Yeah. So Dion, hold up. The spaces in the IDs should have underscores.
Yeah.
So also at line 12, we do the same. All the spaces. Okay, Blessing, Anna and Claire, does your work look kind of similar to this? Kinda. Do they look together?
Not even close.
Not even close.
Kinda looks like this.
Come again.
Mine somehow looks like this, but
Mm.
it has more than the ID.
Okay, in that section, because remember we are still building, so we are just at user story 4.
Yeah, in the section I have more than the ID. I also have like mine I included in classes.
In that section?
Yeah.
Okay.
The purpose was styling.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so the underscore is a big deal because remember we need the navigation links to be able to pull up the content that we want in the main section. Okay, so this needs to match because it's going to be, when the compiler is running, it's going to do a one-to-one mapping. Okay, and then it reads the spaces. The spaces are read as characters unless you put the underscore. Okay. Okay, so so remember we had the class for the section. Okay, so we are also going to add the classes. The class, like in every section, we are going to add the class, the dot main section that we put in the CSS.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, we should have done this in yesterday's stage at user story 3. Once you create the class there aside, then you also call it or you invoke it in the HTML element. So when you're pushing your work to GitHub, this should have been at user story 3, the class. Then the ID comes in at user story 4. Okay, class, main section, so you can just copy and paste it in all the other sections. Okay, done. Okay, let's continue. Then push the work to GitHub. And Claire, are we good on Git and GitHub? And Claire,
Yes.
are we there with Git and GitHub? Have we arrived?
Yes.
User story
But
4.
that part was
Okay, that part of
right in the repository. Haven't yet done that.
Okay, then Git. You have Git.
I don't know, I'm still downloading it.
Okay. Or did you? Oh, we've still pushed to feature 1, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I just needed you guys to create as many branches as possible so that you can learn how to merge the branches. So this one is going to be merged because we have, I think, feature 1 only and then master, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be pretty easy to merge to master. But if you had probably like several other branches, then you would have to keep on merging one to the other, then the two merged ones to the next one, like that. So basically you get to learn how to merge more than one branch. Okay, so we are done with user story 4. User story 5. User story 5 says the main section elements should contain at least 10 paragraph elements total, not each. You guys see that? How do you interpret this? Blessing, how do you interpret this? User story 5 says that main section elements should contain at least 10 p elements total, and in brackets they have not each.
It's like 2 each.
2 each. 2 each of what? Each of what?